Hi everyone, Tom Raftery here. I am at the Smarter E event in Munich, and with me I have Boris. Boris, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi Tom, very nice meeting you here.
Likewise.
My name is Boris Tolkien. I work for Siemens and I'm responsible for the IoT portfolio at Electrification and Automation.
Fantastic. And Boris, Tolkien, phenomenal surname.
Thank you.
Any relation?
Well, actually there is a common root 200 years ago, but nothing that pays off in any terms.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
And we're here at Smarter E. You work in the IoT space.
Yes.
What are the trends you're seeing in that space at the moment?
I mean, what we see is, especially in the space of energy, it's all about the energy transition.
Yeah.
This is a big change. I think it's affecting all of us, right? It's about sustainability. And I mean, within the energy transition, you see huge challenges.
Right.
For example, the rapidly growing number of e-cars.
Yes.
I mean, just look outside. I mean, every day it looks like the number is doubling, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But it's not just about e-cars. It's also, for example, about heat pumps or PV on the roofs of houses.
Yep.
And I mean, this puts a big challenge to the distribution grid to keep it stable.
Yep, of course.
And I mean, this is also another challenge.
Right.
Then obviously, we all need to reduce CO2 emissions. We need to reduce energy cost.
Yep.
And I think our customers, they also have the challenge that they have to increase uptime of their assets. They have to get most out of their assets. They want to reduce the maintenance cost.
Sure.
And all of this with cybersecurity. I mean, it all has to be cyber secure in
Of course.
IoT.
Yeah. And how is IoT helping with that?
I believe we have now introduced Electrification X. It's a new integrated IoT suite for Siemens.
Okay.
And actually we are addressing exactly the challenges of the energy transition.
Okay. How?
So let me take, for example, the rapidly growing number of e-cars, right?
Yeah.
So you have e-car charging stations popping up everywhere.
Yeah, thankfully.
So you have to manage these stations
Right.
to make sure they're always available, right? When you go there with your e-car, you want that it's working.
Yeah.
So what we do is we monitor these stations.
Right.
We also help our customers to increase the availability. So for example, pretty often you have a charger crash and you have to do a hard reset, like with your laptop.
Right.
So what we can do is we can send a command from Electrification X, from the cloud, to the station, resetting the chargers.
Okay. And is that independent of the manufacturer of the chargers?
Yes, so basically it works via Modbus connections.
Okay.
So we have a local controller from Siemens and it connects with all types of chargers. Obviously also Siemens chargers, but also other manufacturers.
Okay, fantastic. And is that helping to then, I know it's increasing the uptime of the chargers, which is fantastic, but what about the grid connectivity? Does it have any implication for that?
I mean, that's the second aspect for it. Obviously, the DSO can send a command to the operator saying, hey, you have to cut power by 20%, 30% to keep the grid stable. And I mean, then our customers, they have to be able to implement this command.
Right.
So what we offer is Electrification X load management, where we can take these commands coming from a DSO and then we reduce the power consumed in the station by reducing the power of the individual chargers.
Okay. And I know in some places, chargers are starting to be bidirectional so that they can actually send charge from electric vehicles back to the grid. Is that something that Electrification X can handle as well?
Not at the moment. So
Okay.
at the moment, it's really focused on managing the station as a whole.
Okay, fine. And where is all this going? What's coming down the line in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years? I say 5 years because we are now halfway through 2024.
Right.
So 5.5 years would be at 2030, which there are a lot of goals for countries and for organizations. It's a big aim to get to 2030. So what are Siemens seeing in that space to get to 2030?
I mean, it's a very interesting question because it's a long horizon for IoT.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing we see very close, that EV charging stations also can turn into microgrids.
Yep.
So you put PV on the roof of a station as an example.
Uh-huh.
And then it's not just about managing the station and the chargers, it's also about managing the PV, the storage you have on the station. So
Right.
it's really a microgrid. So I see this will be a next step, that we also have to manage, let's say, a complete microgrid.
Right.
on these charging stations, as an example.
Sure, sure. And it's interesting you mentioned storage, because a lot of people might not think of storage when they think of EV charging stations. But of course, there's a huge use case for putting storage into EV charging stations. Explain that, because I know the reasons why that's so important, but maybe people watching us here might not understand. So talk to me about that.
I mean, obviously, at different times you have different rates from the DSO.
Yep.
And obviously you want to optimize your cost as an operator. So at the time where the rates are very high, I mean, then you might want to use the power from the storage rather than buying power from the grid. Or the other way around, let's say it's a sunny Sunday, but there are not many people on your station, but you have a lot of PV power available, which is also feeding, which is available. And now you can feed it into your storage so that you have that power available, let's say, in the evening, and all the people go back home and come charging, right?
Right. Lovely. Fantastic. Boris, that's been fascinating. Thanks a million for joining us on the show today.
Thank you very much.